All right, guys. Hey, I'm gonna start a T-shirt channel or a T-shirt promotion with yellow stars on the sleeve with everything that's going on. If you don't get that reference, you better Google it because you're about to repeat it. It's happening. Short video, short to the point, hit and run. Let's just keep moving. Europe has announced by 2035 that there will be no chemical allowed in agriculture production after 2035. There's a large part of the agriculture crowd that says it will never happen. They can't do that. It won't. The world will starve. People will die. I believe 100% the governments do not care. I believe 100% when a government says that. I don't believe it will happen at 2035. I believe another government is going to step up to the plate and push that deadline forward. But 2035, all these governments around the U.S. and in Europe have 2035 for some reason. California has a bunch of regulations that by 2035. So I'm suspicious as to why that is. But I believe wholeheartedly, 100%, zero doubt in my mind that the governments don't care about you and I, don't care about feeding the world, don't care about nothing other than themselves, and they will bring in these policies. Zero doubt in my mind that it will happen. So you now have a 13-year clock that has started. So what are you going to do on your farm to be ready? Are you just going to just keep going to the co-op, writing checks, buying fertilizer, full tillage, full chemical, full toxic farming, and just be in 2034, be like, that's never happening. And in 2035, maybe you get to say, see, I told you so, you guys were lunatics and you are wrong. But what if they're not? What if we're not? What if we're believing what we're being told as far as how lunatic these governments can get? And you got rolling blackouts across, California. You got, overseas. France is not producing fertilizer. You have rolling blackouts across parts of Europe and other nations because they're green energy. Do you think that there's so much proof saying these governments do not care at all about nothing? So as far as organic goes, there is a positive side. All these corn and bean acres, your row crop guy is gone. If this goes through, at the same time, they're going to start pushing confinement cattle policies. California's already working on it. And so your row crop guy will be gone. Them confinement animals should be, rightly so, because why are we growing corn and soybeans to just simply truck around? We should be bringing them animals back to why are we having investment companies own our cattle for 2 hours and make way more profit, different video, way more profit than the guy raising the cow for a year. The guy raising the steer for a year is lucky to break even, and the guy that owns that steer for an hour while it goes through a processing plant makes a lot of money. That is completely backwards. Why are we even participating in that system? Them cattle should be brought back to the land. Them corn and soybean acres should be brought back to pasture. We have more than enough land to feed billions more people than are on the earth right now. The positive side of this is you'd bring them cattle back, you'd bring them grasses back, you would completely change the retail structure of fertilizer and chemical, and you'd change the farming structure of us just being a money laundering system for politicians and corporations, and we would actually have consumers back on the land. You'd have farmers back on the land growing good quality food. Maybe you'd see a revival of small towns because you'd have many small farms back in action. There's a lot of potential positives. In the meantime, there is utter chaos to be had. If you are relying on your off-farm job as a small farmer, how are you going to transition or make it work if the price premiums aren't there like they are right now? Because organic would go away because now everything is organic. So would there be the premium? Who knows how that's going to work? Are they going to end subsidies or keep subsidies? Where would the subsidies be? It's all up in the air. And so if you're a small guy and you have to transition to organic, how is that going to work for you to figure it out? What gives me great hope is that there is many farms I've already toured that are on a couple fields a year, they're already 80 and 90% organic, not certifiable, but the production-wise, they're there. And then you have a farmer like Rick Clark who does 7,000 acres of no-till organic on YouTube. And so it's doable. We know it is very doable. We fed the world forever up until the last couple of generations with organic production. So it's to me, I have no fear of going organic. To me, I look at it like we got a 13-year time clock to figure this out, assuming nobody beats us to the punch. So next year, I better find a field and figure out how to do it organically, and go from there. Pick one field and start a crop rotation. Maybe next year a simple cereal crop with legumes, and follow it with corn, and follow it with grasses and grazing, and who knows, but we've only got a few years to get it figured out. So I'll end it right there, guys. What's your thoughts, your comments? What are you going to do? And please, please, please comment below. All right. Thank you.